The Prophet Experts. Why Diaspora of Africans' descents are the poorest diasporas in the world. Part 1. My phone rang that night and it was Muzza. I had not spoken to him for a while, so it was a bit surprising that he called. "Guess what happened to Abu?" he said. "What?" I inquired. "What is the worst thing that can happen to anyone?" "Death," I replied. "That's exactly what happened to Abu." Shocked, I exclaimed. "What?" "He committed suicide," Muzza muttered. "Abu has finally capitulated to the pressures of diaspora. He was not the last of the people I knew very well who decided rather than face the shame of returning to Africa with shattered dreams, it was better to cling to the safety of the afterlife. Those guys, like many of us, left Africa with big dreams and hoped to make it big in the West. We were told by those who came before us that you could work 2 to 3 jobs, make bundles of money and return home a rich man or woman. However, upon arrival we realized that it was all an illusion. Being in Africa in very desperate situations, it never occurred to us that most of the people who were telling us those stories have themselves been in the West for some time, 15-20 years, and they have never gone back home. If it was that easy, why haven't they returned home? In the burning heat in Lagos or Accra with no knowledge of where your next meal will come from, there is no time for that type of rationalization. All you want is to get out. For someone like me in a war-ravaged country with 7 and 8-year-old kids brandishing at 47s, where your life could end at any time by crossing the wrong checkpoint, all you want is to get out. It does not matter where to. When a man is faced with certain death, the instinct to survival runs deep and you can do anything to get out of that situation. When I crossed the border into neighboring Sierra Leone, my thoughts were, thank God for that, at last I am saved. However, a few days later, I realized that I could not eat safely. My mind now turned to a different form of survival. In Liberia, I just wanted to stay alive for the next hour, and the next hour, and the next. In Sierra Leone, it was now a struggle to find food to eat. In Liberia, my only goal was to stay alive. In Sierra Leone, my goal was to now do something with this life that I had managed to save. I realized that it was no less difficult to stay alive in Sierra Leone than it was for me to dodge the bullets in Liberia. Soon I was told that if I went to Nigeria, all my troubles will be over. With this thought in mind, I no longer sought to find a way of surviving in Sierra Leone. My mind was now focused on how to get from Sierra Leone to Nigeria. I managed to raise funds in Sierra Leone to go to neighboring Guinea. From Guinea I went to Ivory Coast, then to Ghana, from there to Togo, Benin, and finally I arrived in Nigeria. In Nigeria, the grass did not turn out green as I envisioned it when I was in Sierra Leone. Nigeria is a tough country, it's dog eat dog. In Liberia we will walk over our death, at least we turn around to see how it is. In Nigeria, like Liberia, they will also walk over their death. The difference is they will not even stop to see how it is. In this country, mothers eat their young and kids feed their parent to the dogs for wealth. A country where siblings smoke one another over property disputes. Can you imagine the type of welcome a refugee would get? To be continued next week. Thank you for watching. Join us at http://www.theprophetexperts.co.uk.